Nicole here with Stella, and today we're going to be talking about everything that we've been going over so far since Stella has come to stay with us. And you can't see her right now, but she's kind of laying down here out of the picture of the camera here. I just want to say first that because Stella is a very, very smart puppy, I know you guys have worked with her. She sits fabulously, and she also has been doing well with laying down. She's very, very smart. She tends to overthink things and really tries to do her best to impress, which is a great, great sign. We always want to make sure that, you know, the object of a dog doing obedience is the willingness to obey. So far she's doing a great job with all of this. And because she is a puppy, she gets tired pretty easily. So try to work on the trainings with her when you're at home, either early in the mornings, right before she eats her breakfast, or maybe a little bit later in the afternoon, but not right before she goes to bed. And of course, consistency is key. We want to make sure that we're practicing the same things over with her and are consistent in how we do that. So any commands that we give Stella, we want to make sure that we give that same command the same way every single time. And also, following through is especially important, and that when we have a puppy that is at this critical point in their lives where they are finally understanding exactly what is going on in regards to a human being their pack leader, and them listening to that person, we want to make sure that she follows through with everything. So even if it's something simple like sit, not all dogs want to listen all the time. So maybe she's having a little bit of trouble listening when you tell her to sit. We don't want to force her or anything like that. We really don't want to smash her butt on the ground or anything. All we can do is wait. And when she finally decides that she's going to sit down, we're going to mark that behavior with a yes or a good. And at that point in time, she'll understand. Sit. I get a response from my handler or my owner. They say good. They're happy. They're pleased. And you don't have to give her treats all the time, but an occasional treat might help to motivate her. And since we don't have the bond here that you have with her at home, treats are a good motivation factor for her, and it might help get her attention a little bit. Alright, so we're going to be demonstrating a few of the things that we've been working on here in regards to her training. And first thing I want to go over is heel. Heel is very, very important, if not one of the most important commands for her to understand, right up there next to no and sit. We want to make sure that our dogs understand exactly what heel means, and also the people. Heel is a moving command, so basically it's like saying let's go. And the easiest way to establish to a dog that you're in moving now, you want the dog to heel, is to simply say heel and slap on the leg. The slap on the leg gets their attention, it makes a noise, there's movement involved, and you don't have to say heel if you don't want to, if you have already established what a slap on the leg means in regards to heeling. So you can also tell her to heel, so that would be the moving command. She always does that little roll over so you can pat her belly for it down. Yes, and it's very hard to resist doing that. But as you saw, want to make sure she understands heeling is a moving command, aka let's go, Stella. And we want to make sure that when we ask her to heel, that we're consistent in how we do it. So if you start off by having her heel with a slap on the leg and telling her to heel, try to continue doing it in that manner. We don't want to confuse Stella, and we want to make sure, again, that we're being consistent. Repetition is key. Alright, so with the heeling, again, the moving command, we, we always want to make sure that whenever we stop, Stella goes to a sit. Now, this may not seem very important right now. It is a manners thing. We want to make sure that Stella is well behaved when we come to a stop, but also having a habit of her sitting down really makes it a lot safer when you take her out, especially at, let's say, you're going to cross the street. It's a busy corner. You don't want Stella floating around behind you or off to the side, especially in front of you. So you want her to be in that habit of coming to a sit whenever we stop on the leash. And if you need to remind her, that's okay. You can just use your hand signal and ask her to sit. Usually she follows through. Sometimes when there's a little bit of distraction, it takes her a while. So just be patient and make sure that you're feeling very confident and positive about the whole experience. Dogs can really read off of our energy. So if we're feeling a little frustrated about something, maybe our dog is not listening to us how we want them to, we're going to get a little frustrated, and the dog can definitely sense that. All right, and this is a great leash that you have for Stella here. A slip lead is one that I highly recommend when we're training with our puppies and also adult dogs. This prevents the dog from backing out of a collar and also makes it so we're able to use small corrections utilizing the leash without having to have that slip lead fall down onto the base of the neck. Let's say if they're pulling, we'd want to make sure that they don't pull. So instead of pulling backwards like we would do with a regular collar or something, that would make the collar slide down, creating a harness effect. With the slip lead and the position that it should be placed, which is right behind the ears at the top part of the neck, we're able to just use our wrist and correct her. If she needs a little bit of help, let's say she gets distracted and continues to walk straight forward while we're going in a different direction, all we need to do is just with the flick of the wrist, boop, get her attention, Stella, heel, and that's it. So we want to avoid using a lot of force with Stella. Of course, she's a very young puppy, but we also want to make sure that she doesn't come to expect punishment from, let's say, a lot of corrections on the leash or something. We want to make sure that she has a very positive experience when it comes to training. And speaking of positive experiences, ending on a positive note is the only way to go. We want to make sure that any experience Stella has in regards to training is great. We want her to be excited the next time she sees the leash. We want her to know that she's working when she sees us getting our things out, getting ready to go on a walk. And also, we want to make sure that she's generally very well behaved, which she is showing that she is right now. All right, so we're going to be working on our downs and stays currently. So we're just going to have a brief little walk around here. Yep, good. So I'm going to give her some distance here. She's doing a very good job. Now what I just did there was I asked her to do a very specific stay. And when we start off teaching our dogs these things, we want to make sure first that they understand the words individually before we string them together. So, you know she understands down. She displayed that earlier. And also she understands stay. So what we want to do in this situation is ask her to specifically down stay. And if we need to say that very clearly, go ahead. You want to make sure that she understands down stay. And if you would like to walk away, that's great. We want to make sure that she remains in this position Even if, let's say, you're running by or something like that, there's a bicycle or children around, another dog, that's a very, very high value distraction, meaning that she would think that having a meeting with the dog would be of greater value than following through with her command. So things like this we need to work up to. However, we want to make sure that she completely understands her basic commands first before we introduce her into any scenario where she may be a little distracted or uncomfortable. The vet clinic is a good place. A lot of times when we bring our dogs in there, there are high levels of anxiety and things like that. So if you have a vet appointment coming up next for her, really work on those basic commands, and in that stressful environment, try to have her follow through with those commands. Also, Petco is another good place to go in regards to working on your basic commands with distractions. If you go earlier in the morning when there's not too many people around, at that point in time, it would be good to work on just simple sits, downs, and stays. Here, got all of her fur, miles of fur on this girl. Here. Yep. Good, yeah, good girl. Good. Good. Down, stay. And that's okay if she kind of rolls over a little bit when we ask her to lay down, meaning that we just want her to stay put in that position. So, if she likes to do the laissez-faire, laying down, relaxing thing, that's totally fine. Very good girl. Another thing I just want to say before we wrap this up here is that when we have a leash attached to our puppy, we want to make sure that we're able to completely control Stella, and also we want her to be desensitized to the leash. Now, the leash usually signifies excitement. The dog is going to go out, they're going to play, something like that. They're going to get so excited when you bring this leash out. So things like this, leashes and collars, if she does get very excited when she sees it, we want to make sure that we can desensitize her to those items. And also, before we put them on, make sure that she's in a calm state of mind. It's very important not to have an overly excited dog when you do take them out on a walk. We want to make sure Stella is calm, she knows that she's working, and there are commands that she needs to adhere to when we take her out. And also, if you're planning on taking her out for a walk, going over those commands, try to exercise her a little bit first before you take her on that walk. Play with her a little bit and get some of that puppy energy out. And at that point in time, she's going to be a little bit more tired, not too much, and then you'll be able to find it that it's easier to have her follow through with her commands when she's out in public with more distractions. But seeing that she's probably going to take a little snoozer right now, we'll definitely catch up again and continue this little video session here. But it's been Nicole with Stella. We've been just doing a brief review of things that we've been going over during her stay here. And I think we missed a couple of things, but it's time to wrap up the video now, and we'll continue this next time. I know she's going to be here for a little while. But it's Nicole here, and currently very relaxed and sleeping Stella. We'll see you later. Bye.